Hello and welcome to Gothic Energy. This is Mystikos, and we are going to be looking at another angel message today from Archangel Uriel. So Archangel Uriel is considered to be the angel of flame, an energy that is wild and unwieldy, that cannot be restrained, cannot be bound. Uriel exudes heat and passion, as well as feeling and the ability to sense in every aspect of our being. In the book of Enoch, Uriel is one of the angels of the divine presence. Sometimes known as Phanuel, his name means the fire of God or the flame of God, and is found in Jewish, Kabbalistic, Christian, and Islamic traditions. As the angel of peace and salvation, as well as ministration, you can call upon Uriel to help overcome emotional turbulence, conflict, egocentricity, desire, and self-harm. Uriel is not named in the Bible, but shows up in various Old Testament as acts are attributed to him, as in the original rabbinical literature. In the Old Testament, in the Hebrew tradition, it is said that Uriel, in his role as a cherubim, is a gatekeeper to the Garden of Eden, where he stands watch holding a flaming sword. Also, it is said that Uriel resides over the entrance to hell as a result of his loyalty and steadfastness. Believed to have given esoteric wisdom from the Kabbalah to mankind and disclosing heavenly mysteries of the arcana, the secret knowledge of alchemy, Uriel is sometimes known as the bearer of secrets, and is associated with the middle pillar of the Tree of Life in the Kabbalah and the Sephiroth Malkuth, which is the kingdom. Uriel was sent by God to warn Noah of the flood in the Old Testament, and is responsible to have wrestled with Jacob in the book of Genesis. It is said that on the day of judgment, Uriel will break open the gates of Hades to initiate in the judgment and sorrow from Revelations onto mankind. As an archangel, Uriel stands for peace, salvation, and ministry, and leads us into and closer to the divine love of the universe and service to a higher power, as we believe. You can work with Uriel to develop compassion, selflessness, and inner peace. And working with this archangel can help you deal with conflict and anger. And so I want to talk a little bit about how I end up working with the Archangel Uriel and with my new book that's coming out later this year, Bloodstained Seraphim, which deals with the monastic order, sacred servants unto Uriel, and archangels, as well as the Holy Trinity. It is a paranormal fantasy book that deals with angels and demons and looks specifically at the Trinity essence of God as the wise sage, the sword of God, and the divine child, and the relationship between mankind on earth and the angels in heaven, and the second war of the angels that is started by Sebastian Azazel, who is a seraphim whose wings are stained in blood. And it also looks at the foil to Sati, who is manifestation of God's anger, the sword of the divine, and the battle between heaven and hell, and the Lord of Demons, the fallen Archangel Samael. And so Uriel is prominent in that story as the monks and nuns, the humans who are affected by the divine teachings, are followers of Archangel Uriel, who was sent by God to give wisdom to man. And so it is a way of looking at those hidden mysteries and delving into that and getting some insight as the story was channeled. But I also want to talk a little bit about Uriel and working with Uriel as someone who has ADHD and is on the autism spectrum. And so sometimes when you have like an autism meltdown, so for example, you're overwhelmed by sensory stimulus, one of the things that I like to do, because it's not always able to, take a time out and sit down and meditate, is that I like to call upon the Archangel Uriel to help develop my compassion for self and bring me back to a place of inner peace. Now, I know some people like to, focus their breathing or sit in silence, and it's always good when, you're in sensory overload to remove yourself from the situation and go into a quiet place. And usually when I do that, that allows me to calm down a little bit of the inner turmoil and the ruminations from the ADHD mind, kind of when you get stuck on an idea and are having, issues concentrating. I like to, ask Uriel and seek Uriel to bring me peace of mind and soothe the friction, that's kind of the inner self-talk in my head, and allow myself to come to a place of peace and quiet where there is calmness, and be able to get back in touch with my higher self. And so that is one of the things that I do in order to, when I'm in sensory overload and I need to kind of, executive function regulate, that's something that I like to do, and I find that very helpful. And so I just wanted to share with you a little bit about Archangel Uriel and just let you know that that new book, Bloodstained Seraphim, and I will show a picture of the cover at the end of this right here, is a story that goes beyond the veil and looks both at mankind's relationship to a higher power and how we are to the divine. And so again, as we look, this was just a short little synopsis of working with the Archangel Uriel and how to seek out Uriel's wisdom for self-love and compassion, and to bring both inner peace to ourselves and calm our mind, and always strive to grow and learn and become the best version of our higher self. But in addition to looking inward, to also look outward and spread love, compassion, and peace through the world, as Uriel and the flame of God.